back of my mind, I killed you, and I didn't even regret it.
This is what we know about the David case. A body found, a suspect identified, but no charges yet. Back in September 2025, the remains of a 15-year-old girl were discovered inside a car registered to a rising pop singer. What followed was a media firestorm that led to a canceled tour and a case that raises serious questions about evidence, investigation timelines, and why months later, no one has been formally charged. Over the next 12 minutes, we're going to walk through everything that is publicly known. We'll separate fact from speculation and examine exactly why this case remains unresolved. First, let's establish who we're talking about. David is the stage name for David Anthony Burke. He's a 20-year-old singer-songwriter originally from Queens, New York, who grew up in Houston, Texas. He built his early following on TikTok, where he started out making music specifically for Fortnite montage videos to avoid copyright strikes. And that strategy worked. Songs like Romantic Homicide and Here With Me broke through the algorithm and caught the attention of major industry players. By 2025, he had secured a record deal with Darkroom and Interscope, released a debut album called Withered that was pulling in serious streaming numbers, and was actively touring across the United States. That was his life in September 2025. Then, everything stopped. The victim in this case is Celeste Rivas Hernandez. She was just 15 years old. Celeste was from Lake Elsinore in Riverside County, California. According to law enforcement sources, she had a history of running away from home. She was reported missing multiple times, first in February 2024, and then again in April 2024. That second date marked the beginning of her family's sustained search for her. By accounts shared with media outlets, Celeste came from a troubled home situation. She was described as very small and underweight, around 71 pounds, and she had one distinctive physical trait that would become crucial later, a tattoo on her right index finger that simply read, "Shh." On September 8, 2025, workers at Hollywood Tow, a tow yard in Los Angeles, reported a strong, putrid odor coming from a Tesla Model Y. The car had been impounded after sitting parked on a Hollywood Hills street for weeks. Police responded to the scene. When LAPD officers opened the front trunk, they found a black plastic bag containing severely decomposed, dismembered human remains. The car was registered to David Anthony Burke. Within days, the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's Office confirmed the identity. It was Celeste Rivas Hernandez. They used forensic analysis to identify her, specifically relying on that distinctive "shh" tattoo on her right index finger. The remains were in such bad condition that initial identification had been difficult, but once the tattoo was confirmed, there was no question. What happened next was unusual. The medical examiner did not immediately release a cause or manner of death. Instead, those findings were listed as deferred. According to investigative reports, the reason for this delay was the condition of the body. The decomposition was severe, and there were indications that the remains may have been frozen or refrigerated for some period of time before being placed in the car. That made determining the exact cause of death significantly more complex. Here is where the details get specific. Several key pieces of information emerged that linked David and Celeste beyond just the car registration. First, a former teacher of Celeste's was reportedly recorded on phone video stating that Celeste had run away and spent time with David. Second, and this detail circulated widely on social media, David reportedly has a finger tattoo that matches Celeste's "shh" marking. This suggested a closer personal relationship than just a random encounter. Third, Rolling Stone reported that a Tesla registered to David had been observed in the Hollywood Hills area, parking in different locations from around May 2025 onward. During that same time, David was on tour supporting his Withered album, and he was staying at a mansion on Doheny Place in the Hollywood Hills. That mansion was leased by his manager, Josh Marshall, and owned by real estate investor Mladen Trifunovic. So the picture emerging was this. David and Celeste knew each other. The body was found in his car. He was living in the immediate area, and within days of the discovery, he would leave town. On September 18th and 19th, 2025, just days after the body was identified, David's label, Interscope Records, and its parent company, UMG, made a major move. They canceled the remaining dates of his U.S. tour. This cancellation included scheduled shows at major venues like the Warfield in San Francisco and the Greek Theater in Los Angeles, as well as a planned appearance at the Grammy Museum. The deluxe edition of his album, Withered Marcescence, which was set for release, was shelved indefinitely. Around that same time, LAPD obtained a search warrant for the Doheny Place mansion where David had been staying. Officers conducted a raid and, according to reports, recovered items from the home. What exactly those items were has not been publicly disclosed, but we do know that after the search, David and his manager, Josh Marshall, abruptly broke the lease on the property and moved out. Additionally, David's merchandise store came under scrutiny. He had been selling a bloody shirt item online. Following public backlash in light of the case, that merchandise was removed from sale. During the same period, law enforcement sources told outlets like NBC Los Angeles that David was, quote, fully cooperating with authorities, end quote. However, that characterization would shift in the months that followed. Before we go further, it is really important to address what didn't happen and what isn't true. Multiple false rumors spread like wildfire on social media. One major rumor was that Celeste was pregnant at the time of her death. Her death certificate explicitly contradicts this. She was not pregnant, and she had not been pregnant in the prior year. Another viral rumor claimed that David was involved in a high-speed police chase, taken into custody, and arrested. That simply did not happen. The video circulating on social media showing a chase did not involve David. Law enforcement has not announced any arrests. Before we go further, it is really important to address what didn't happen and what isn't true. Multiple false rumors spread like wildfire on social media. One major rumor was that Celeste was pregnant at the time of her death. Her death certificate explicitly contradicts this. She was not pregnant, and she had not been pregnant in the prior year. Another viral rumor claimed that David was involved in a high-speed police chase, taken into custody, and arrested. That simply did not happen. The video circulating on social media showing a chase did not involve David. Law enforcement has not announced any arrests. Additionally, some commentary tried to use David's music and artistic choices, particularly the song Romantic Homicide and its dark imagery, as evidence of actual criminality. Legal analysts have emphasized that artistic expression, even disturbing expression, is generally protected. It cannot be used alone as proof of a crime. An artist can explore dark themes without being guilty of the acts those songs describe. These distinctions matter because they separate verified facts from internet speculation. So, where does the investigation stand officially? In November 2025, Rolling Stone obtained a court declaration filed by LAPD detective Joshua Byers. In that document, Byers described the matter as an investigation into murder. That is significant language. It means authorities are treating Celeste's death as a potential homicide, not an accident or an undetermined death. However, and this is critical, no one has been formally charged, no indictment has been issued, no arrest has been made. Law enforcement sources quoted by NBC Los Angeles and other outlets have said that investigators consider David a suspect. They believe Celeste most likely died in the spring of 2025, and that David most likely had help dismembering and disposing of the body. This is what we know as of early 2026. A body was found. It was identified as Celeste Rivas. That body was in a car registered to David. David is considered a suspect by investigators, but the cause of death remains officially undetermined. No charges have been filed, no indictment exists. The case is still open, the investigation continues, and justice for Celeste Rivas remains pending.